Okay. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to this week's episode of Simple Talk. Today, we are chatting with Elizabeth Verwey. She is the founder of Spoken Lives. Good morning, Elizabeth. How are you?
Good morning, Jenny. I'm pumped. I'm so happy to be on your program.
I'm so happy to have you here. So, tell us a bit about your journey and Spoken Lives and what you've got going on now.
Sure, thank you. I have been mentoring business owners for over 20 years, and I've been lucky enough to help over 1,200 business owners and to grow their business and to become more efficient and effective. And really, when I had a late life divorce, I started having friends over to my apartment and we started gabbing, and we had a massage therapist in the bedroom and we had a great time, and we started sharing our stories. And I thought, wow, this is amazing. Everybody here has gone through something huge and they've lived to tell the tale. And the last one I had in my apartment, I hosted in my apartment, there were 20 women in a 1-bedroom apartment.
Awesome.
And I thought, this is bigger than me. People need to hear these stories. So I rented a restaurant. And as I say, the rest is history. The first one, we sold 25 tickets, and people just keep on coming. And I started licensing it, actually. And all of that came to a crashing halt in December. What is it? 2019, was it?
Yeah, I think it was
2020. I don't know. I've lost track of the years. 2020, I guess. And all of my licensees didn't want to come online. So I was the only one who went online. So during the pandemic, I've really been reflecting, do I want to go back to that model, licensing people to do just spoken lives? And I thought, no, I really want to empower people to bring their own communities together, around a disease or around a cause or around a poetry series, So I'm doing a course. I'm just finishing it up. It'll launch in the spring. It's called Your Applause Academy. And I'm going to empower people to start, grow, and monetize a speaker series. So I'm very excited. It's going to be a game changer for a lot of people who don't have those skills and abilities.
Yeah. Well, I think that's something that people need, is the community right now.
That's right. Online or in person.
Yeah, they just need that connection. So do you have one piece of advice you wish you had before you started all this?
Oh my gosh. Well, I was an accidental entrepreneur. I started being self-employed because I volunteered to give a talk to single moms about how to occupy their preschoolers. And somebody gave me money in the parking lot and said, gosh, I'm sorry, it's so little. I know a lot of people who would pay $100 for what you just did. That was back in the 80s. And I said, oh, could you introduce me to them?
Shady parking lot dealings.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. A mom's group doing shady deals in the parking lot. Anyway, I just decided this is great because I was making so much money. I was getting about a booking a week. And then my mother actually typed out a little booklet called Mountain of Ideas. And that's what I registered the business as. Okay. And I sold those little booklets, made a ton of money. I think I netted more than my friends who stayed in the profession I was working in. Netted, that's the important word, right? They made more, but then they had to pay for daycare and they had to pay for transportation and all that. Yep. So I think new habits really are the key thing that has made me get to goals faster, right? So when I understood that we're really a mass of habits, we have habits, good habits, bad habits, everything. When I understood that, I was able to prioritize which habits I wanted to keep and which habits I wanted to give away. As I say, let's give those away to somebody. And I just learned a ton about how habits or any new habit can take us to our goal in lightning speed.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm a big fan of habits and processes and
Yes,
systems.
that's right. We're both systems people. Yes.
I love systems. So do you have any other tips or pointers for entrepreneurs who are out there today?
Oh my gosh. Okay. What would I give? Okay. Raise your prices. People charge too little for what they do.
Yep.
And when I work with most entrepreneurs and ask them, when did you last raise your prices? It's a long time ago. And I'll do the math with them and show them that even if they lost a few clients, if they raise their prices, they usually net more money. And you can also raise prices for new clients and give old clients like 3 months warning, that sort of thing. Also, raising prices is more accepted in January and in September.
Huh.
So, people just expect these new years, new school years. They don't balk at prices being raised. So if I'm working with somebody, I'll say, okay, all new clients, raise them in September, but tell your current clients, all new clients are coming in at this different rate, but in January, your rates will go up and you probably won't lose one client.
Mm-hmm. Give them the little warning. It's like, oh, I'm giving you a buffer.
That's right. That's right. It's true. We love our current clients. We have to treat them better than anybody.
Well, we do.
Yeah.
Clients are number one, man.
That's right.
I love all my clients.
Yeah.
So is there anything else that you wanted to add? Anything else you wanted to talk about today?
Oh my gosh. What do you have in mind? I mean, I have a ton of stuff around habits. I think habits might be
the number one.
The number one,
or
but
I'm here to listen.
Do you have a question for me?
I don't have any other questions left. But if you have something that you think other entrepreneurs would love, we would want to hear it.
Okay, so let's talk a little bit more about habits, because people say, okay, new habits, what does that mean? So take a look at today and write all the things that you did. So you rolled out of bed. What did you do? I assume that you brushed your teeth. You probably ate breakfast. Write all those things down that you did, and then put a negative beside them if it was like something that doesn't add to your day. I don't know, maybe grabbed your phone and looked on social media. It probably didn't add a lot to your day, but eating breakfast, fuel for your body, that is a plus, especially if it was a good breakfast. It was a naughty breakfast, then it's probably you put an equal sign, which is a neutral sign. So, a plus by the one that you'd like to keep in an ideal day, minus and the ones that you could lose, and equal sign for the neutral. And then just consider that, because self-awareness is what works best for us to self-regulate, right? Yeah. So one of my favorite quotes in the whole wide world is from James Thurber, and he said, "Let us not look back in anger or forward in fear, but around in awareness." And so when you have that list, take a look and see what you want to add. Now, if you want to adopt a new habit, say like for me, stretching and strengthening, I have a little routine in the morning. And so at night, before I go to bed, I roll out my yoga mat. So when I come out of bed, it's more of a nuisance to roll up my yoga mat than it is to do the exercises that I know I want to do, right?
Yeah,
so,
I actually made these they're little Post-its, and they have little lines on them, Monday to Sunday, and you put in the habits that you want to keep, and every day you just tick off, oh yeah, I did that, I did that, I did that. So that's a
Perfect.
little helpful for me because yeah, like drinking water is a hard thing for me, but I know that I need to do it. It's good for the
Yeah,
skin.
it's funny. I have a whole ton of blue glasses, glasses, and I have them all around. Like I have them everywhere. So any moment of time that I feel thirsty, I take a drink. And then every night, take them into the kitchen, wash them out, and fill them up for the next day.
And they're
So
pretty.
yeah, that's right. And yeah, so make it easy, right? So that's an example of having the water everywhere so that I know that it's readily available, and make it satisfying, right? Sometimes I get really bored with water. It's occasionally. And so I'll put cucumbers in my water, or lemon in my water. I prefer cucumbers, but it's really satisfying then to take a drink of water, right? So, and in the reverse, if you want to eliminate a habit, I have an addiction to chocolate, right? So if I make it harder to get or invisible, if I don't bring it into the house, but if I have it in the house, it's up high in a container behind some things. So I have to really, take everything out, go up high and get this chocolate and then treat myself. So you're making it bringing a little more awareness. Actually, an important thing to remember when we're developing a habit or ridding ourselves of an old habit, a really important thing is that your desire for that treat, or this is when I discovered it when I was quitting smoking, which was 100 years ago, but I was quitting smoking. And I didn't finish the thought. So the desire for your treat is much stronger than your actual satisfaction of having the treat. And so when I was quitting smoking, I would wrap my cigarettes in a piece of paper with 2 elastics around it. And then when I wanted a cigarette, I would unpack it and I would write down, okay, what's the trigger? So I just had dinner or whatever. And how much do I want that cigarette? And it was always like after a meal, it was like 9. If anybody's a smoker, they know. And then, the satisfaction after you've had the cigarette was always like a 6, a 5. And so I really could have a concrete record of how it was kind of what I would call a lunch bag letdown to have the cigarette. So I apply that to chocolate too. I sort of, as I'm bringing all this stuff down and going deep into the cupboard, I think, how much do I want it? Okay. And how satisfying is it? And that
I know
helps.
the chocolate's probably pretty satisfying.
Yeah, if you get the right thing. But, and it sounds like you're already doing, like with your list and your check marks, you're making it visible to you, which is great, because they did a study around losing weight, for instance, that the people who actually kept a food journal for 6 or 7 days a week lost twice as much weight as the people who kept a journal 1 day a week.
Yeah.
So, when you really commit to something and you make it visible, it's really, you're much more prone to success, right?
Yeah, because we have so many things that we actually do on autopilot, we don't even realize we're doing.
Yeah.
So for the weight thing, you could be eating things and not actually realizing that those calories are going in. And you're like, well, I didn't eat that much. But if you write it down, you ate that much.
Also, you have to make a commitment. I'm going to write this chocolate down. Oh, no, maybe I won't.
You're like, no, I don't want to add that in there. I don't think.
But, I make goals, but I forget about them and just bring new habits into the day. So right now with writing my course, I just track how much work I actually do each day on that. So when I first started doing that, I was very surprised. I started obviously before the course with other things, writing. I've written 2 books. and done a lot of other writing for workshops. And so I found that I was surprised because it was always in my brain, right? If I was writing my book, for instance, it was always on my mind. But when I actually tracked how much time I was actually writing, it was an eye opener. And so
Yeah.
I'm doing the same with the course. I write down, I track how much actual time I'm working on the course, and it keeps me honest.
That's a good one, because
Yeah.
right now I'm launching another business. And I think about it constantly, but I'm trying to focus on the other things because those have to get done. But I think I'm putting more time into that, but I don't think I am. So
Exactly.
yeah, awesome. Well,
Exactly.
thanks so much for being here today, Elizabeth. It's been great, and all your tips are awesome. So we'll have to do this again soon.
Wonderful. I'd love to.
Okay, thanks so much.
Thanks, Jenny.